Right, we've come to a different place again today. We're sticking to the woodlands mostly this year.
Still along the little local areas.
Aye.
It's probably the best place to come here though, because there's a lot of different little bits and
Aye.
everything we need to find, we can really find.
Because there is just in there, it's all brambles and type of, what do you call them, the berry trees and all that. And we did see a lot of goldfinches and warblers in there. We found what was it? What warbler did we find down here again?
Found just in here, wasn't it?
Aye.
Was it a warbler or was it a white throat?
White throat, man. They're a warbler family, but I couldn't think of it. The white throat.
If you think it's a patch of wood, you've got the meadows up there where you can get all the meadow pipits and the larks. You can get all the little birds,
It is brilliant, like. Plus we see the kites and the buzzards along there. We've got the big pond along there. There's a big field with reeds and little frog ponds in it and all. We videoed them before a couple of years ago. There's a really lot.
And it's close now, so if we find out, we'll come back.
We'll return.
To see how it's doing.
That's what we like about these areas. We were doing here because last year, at the further end up this road, we did find the goldfinches, but it got predated. And there's a hole down next to the stream in an old oak tree. It looks like it's been used over the years, but we've checked it for the last 3 years and it's never been used. But you can see all the claw marks on the front of the hole and that way something's been gone in and out. Either a kestrel or an owl or something. Because it's a big hole. It's perfect for that kind of bird. Right, so I'll put the camera on when we get there. Right, I'm at the oak tree and there's a big hole around the back what drops down into it. I'm wondering if that's just been too exposed over the years and that's why it doesn't get used as much. I'll lift the camera up. I have the camera on the top of the tripod there, I can't really see that high on the viewfinder. Now to come around here. Got that perfect branch on there. I'm being very careful where I'm standing because of all this little bank side. A bit of a stick in the front there. You can see on the front of the hole where it does get used. Didn't think there's anything in there, no. I'll get back, I'll inspect that when I get back home, I'll have a good look. A lot of flies sitting down on doing here. Right, we've come into the bottom end of a field.
Load of bits of gorse and that, you know.
There's a lot of low bramble just in there. We're gonna check all that and all this. Everything just doesn't look like it's grew much. It's not the pheasant. Just seen a pheasant running through there.
Alright.
It was like in them trees there and then it ran along. Thought I heard something as we came in. It must have been the pheasant running through. There's a lot of elderberry bush, a lot of gorse, a lot of bramble. We did hear a lot of birds because the main road's just down there, and that's where we just came in, and we heard loads when we were doing that, but it's went quiet since we walked in. Well, we're coming to that little bit of woodland. It was a bit rubbish. We heard a lot, but we didn't see any nests. It hadn't grew back as good as what it's.
No.
We've had any rain last year. I think that's what it is. The brambles and everything aren't grown as well.
We didn't see no in there, did we?
No, not a thing. We're finding that as we're going to like a lot of the woodlands, we're not seeing a lot because stuff hasn't grown back as well as what it should have. We're finding the paths are easier to go through because of the lower bramble. It's just not as good. And it's mid-May, no. All this should be really thick. Oh, aye, the birds will be nesting, but they're going to be finding it hard to get a good place to nest in, like.
There's a lot of feathers there and that. There's been a coat or something.
Oh, right. Oh, like on the ground. Or in here. Oh, long-tailed tits, probably.
That's what I mean, man, a
Aye.
long tits, but I know there's just a load of feathers. There's never signs of any nests and moss and that.
Right, I'll get them when they come, I'll have a look. Just to show people what you mean. Oh, right. Oh, the big feathers and all. It's either that or the sparrowhawks had a bird up there.
It doesn't look like there's any signs of a nest like now, moss
No.
and bits and bobs. It's just a...
Oh, there's a nest one. There's a wren's nest on that side.
Alright.
Aye. I can see the lump of bracken on the bottom there.
Alright, that is
It must have been ripped out from the top. Oh, it's a definite wren's nest there. I wonder if it's got out in it, and we can have a look to see if there's any eggs in the bottom,
You mean the way the...
like when the long-tailed tit.
I didn't think we'd be that lucky twice.
I know. Because these are the kind of nests you cannot see into, but you can see it's been predated. It's all been ripped out. I'll just put the camera off until I can get in. Right, I'll put the camera back on because it's a bit hard to see, but in there there's definite eggs in the bottom.
I wonder what's destroying them, as you would think, when I had my interest in eggs.
I put the camera back on. I had to turn it off because there was a car coming along. We didn't want them to see what we're doing. You know, 'cause it was a bit strange. Two old blokes in a bush. Get rid of there quick. But it makes you wonder what's going on. That's the second one we've seen pulled out and they've left the eggs. It's kind of stupid.
We know the long-tailed tits. I found that about a week before, but I only seen the ripped out bit nest in the bottom. And when we went back, you noticed the top.
I know, because I was saying it should be in the top, and it was. Huh?
And then you didn't notice there was eggs in that until you got back here and looked at the computer, did you?
Aye, like uploaded the video and seen there was eggs in. That's what made us look in there, just to see if it did have eggs in.
That was
And it has done.
Someone must be getting the bird
Aye, they're just
on the nest, killing the bird or whatever.
happy with eating the bird and taking it away. And normally they do that and they come back and see if there's out else in, but even the long-tailed tits, it still had the eggs in the nest 3 weeks later. So I don't know what's going on with them. We have seen the little weasels along here
Would they like, would the
other year.
weasels bother when the eggs?
They eat the birds.
I but would they bother?
I know, that's what you would think at this time of year when they've got young, though, any little bit of protein would be great for them. You know, when they've got young. Because that's, if it was any other big bird like the crows or the pigeons, they would have eaten the eggs straight away.
Well, you wouldn't. I think it's probably more little.
It's going to be like some type of little vermin thing, like, even mice eat eggs. You know, we've found them where they've had little holes in. You know, I just don't know what's doing it.
And that's when you say, well, it's got young, it's a weasel or something, it's just getting the bird and taking that back.
It's been happy with the bird. Right, we're doing here. This field always looks good. It's proper nature reserve type thing these days. They've got a lot of ponds in amongst them reeds over there, and there's a lot of bramble just in that end. We're going to have a walk in here. We can hear a lot. All them big black flies flying around.
That's always this time of year, isn't it? May.
Aye.
After now, trying to put the sleeves down on my top.
Aye.
They're horrible and all, they're like big
Oh, they're huge.
Horrible things. You know, the horse flies or whatever. Horrible.
Right, we'll get in.
Yeah.
Right, we're at one of the little ponds on the top here in the field, but there's not even a frog in it. Can I see any spawn?
Yeah, it's not much of a pond.
No. They did have some in last year though.
A big puddle. I had a
Aye.
frogs.
Aye.
Frogs in that lake, but
No, there's no there. There's a couple more, like, we'll check the rest. Well, we're at the second one, but this one's dried up a little bit as well. Cannot say it's nice and deep still, but there's no in it. No spawn, no frogs. I'm gonna run to the other end so I'm not reflecting the light. Might be able to see a little bit better. You'd think they'd be good enough for newts and all. You wouldn't be in this kind of area.
I've never seen newts for years.
Aye.
Aye.
You get them in the grassy ends, I mean, and there is a lot of grassy stuff in this.
You even get
They lay strings of spawn, you know, like instead of like clumps. There's no in the big pond either, is there? Now the frogs. And last year and the year before there was quite a few, so there's, must just be a poor year for them.
these pond skaters.
Aye. A lot of them big flies kicking around still.
You what?
A lot of them just heard the kite. I mean the buzzard. Aye. I can see it there just at the bottom there. It's chasing a crow. Or the crow's chasing it.
Yeah, so we'll walk up here.
We're going up there. Well, we've come out of that meadow field where the ponds were, and there's a bit of a footpath, went some more gorse and that, and I noticed in here there's a lot of feathers. And there is another long-tailed tit nest there. But there's a ton of feathers just directly under it. It still looks
Come across as,
it still looks like a full nest.
everyone's been destroyed, hasn't it? Must be something going on.
It's probably ripped the top out again, whatever it's been. I'm going to have a look in. But there's a bit of a clearance here I can get in. Got to bend this bramble doing it a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother.
Oh, I'm going to have a look like. Well, the full front of the nest's been ripped out. There's all the bits of feathers there, and there's the nest up there. There's a hole in the bottom of the nest. If I can pull that to one side, aye. Because they always have the hole in the top for the bird. Something's went in through the bottom, pulled it all out. I'm not even going to look in that one. It'll probably kill the bird again, whatever it is. I only looked in the last one because it.
That's what I'm saying.
We could.
9 out of 10.
These little birds.
Fine. They're being destroyed.
Aye, they all get predated, didn't they? It's terrible. But can hear something through there. That sounds like a. Is it the black cap or the white throat? They make a. And our wrens make that kind of noise in there, like. But there's some canny gorse there. I might have scared it out as that came in. I'm looking around as I'm in here just in case there's another one. Right, I'll get back out. Put my camera off. Well, we're back to the car. We've just come back up this path. We've been down there, we've been in there. We've been all the way down to the fields, doing the ponds and all that. We've found a couple, I mean, the wren's been predated, the long-tailed tits have been predated. We've found a couple of song thrushes, we didn't put them on. I mean, they look...
shot of the wren's, the eggs in the wren's nest, like what
I'll put the camera over the top of the nest, like, so there might be, it might be able to see them. Hopefully. Right, so we're still not finding much. I mean, we're finding the odd bit, but there's some more birds, we're not finding them yet. Like the white-throats, the black-caps and willow warblers and chipchaps. So we've still got plenty of time. It's a late, well, it's a good spring, but it's
Now
dry.
the brambles haven't
I know it's grew back for them little birds yet.
I think, but they will in the next week or two, won't they? So.
We had a canny dry winter, so we did have a little bit of rain last week, so things might just start growing and carrying growth there. Right.
Oh, stop. Hungry again soon.
Right, we're at a different place again. We're going to walk up this path. We've got some meadows on the top again. But there's a lot of gorse and brambles and everything as usual. We're looking for the small birds again. But you do find all the finches and that up here. So it's just we haven't been here this year.
Might have a bit more luck.
So it's all good. Right. A little wren there.
Normally you never get to you never really get
Still there, like.
you never get to see them because they're just flitting around all hour.
They're very quick.
A little bit of,
It's that small.
one of the littlest ones, aren't they?
Second smallest, isn't it?
That's the littlest, the gold.
The gold crest.
I think long-tailed tits, they're more small apart from the way they've got a big long tail, but
Aye.
body-wise, like.
Got it nicely in the middle there. Shaking around a little bit because I'm free-handing it.
Normally they'll not sit like this, wrens, they normally
It's normally away.
busy floating around all over.
It's the way they know, like, but that's probably going to have a nest the way it's like chatting on. A little bit alarmed in it. It didn't gan for. I mean, all this is good enough for one.
That's pretty much nest anyway, wouldn't it?
Aye, close to the ground, on the ground. Just anywhere really.
Trees and banksides.
Aye.
Pretty much nest anyway.
That's a canny old hole in the bottom of that tree, like.
I think it's just a great tip. Maybe a possible coal tit like this. I can't see a big thick. There's a black line down the front, it is a great tit.
I can't see it. I don't know.
Because the female, the line's not as much
Right.
as it.
Aye, no. Right. Right, I'll put the camera back on because I can hear a bird doing here. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'll put the camera back on, it gets quiet.
And as soon as the first stops.
Aye. And I wouldn't care. We came in there and walked around there and it was singing.
It's probably just because we started walking.
We came like in properly. But it was just in there. It went totally quiet. Little tool rag what it is. Hey. Right, we're going into the fields. Right, we've come to a different meadow. We haven't been in this one this year, or last year really. There's one just landed on the top of that thing, don't there?
Branch over there.
It's because this is the one where we'll find the meadow pipits more than anything. Well, we'll see them more than anything.
It's strange because then the next field's normally the
It's all the skylarks. It's a lower scrub in the other field. In this field is like a deep, longer grass. Is that the... I can see it from here. Like I'm gonna put the camera on it. Aye. Put the camera down and see if I can zoom in on it. See what it looks like. Line it up first, because it's gonna be a hard one to spot from here. Like. Trying to.
Still the open here, but.
Aye. I've got it nicely in the middle. I've got to try and zoom in on it.
Just as you get zoomed in, it'll fly off.
Hello. I've got it nicely in focus then. But thinking it's the meadow pipit from here, I'm not 100%.
zoomed in, like.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of beautiful, yeah.
It's I definitely think it's a meadow pipit. It's just flew away there. Because that's what we've come onto this meadow for. Because over the years we have seen a lot of the pipits. And we haven't been up here. We've found a lot of the skylarks over the last 2 or 3 years. We just haven't found the pipits, so we're having a look for them today. Because it's a nice sunny day, we didn't mind on the meadow.
A bit windy, like something, a bit noisy on.
On the camera.